Welcome back to the quarterfinals of the Charlotte Legacy League Players Tournament. We have Boros Initiative versus Temur Rhinos. A huge thank you to the Patreon supporters who are helping the league and YouTube channel. If you would like to become a supporter, please click on the link in the show notes. Game 1, Zach's going to be on the play. He mulliganed to 6, Chase kept 7. Zach's just going to lead off on a Misty Rainforest. Looks like Chase is going to have a banner start here, like typical Boros Initiative decks do. 4 mana, 3 mana. All right, so we've got a Anointed Peacekeeper coming out. Let's see if Zach wants to force a will that, or if he's just going to let it resolve. Looks like he's going to let it resolve here. Granted, Chase could name something that's not in his hand, such as Crashing Footfalls or something along those lines, where when it comes off suspend, he still has to pay mana for it. But I'm not quite sure what he did mention. So we've got a Wasteland here. I wonder if that's going to... If that was named, it was not. All right, so Chase in a pretty precarious predicament. Never mind. Just fucking kidding. All right, so Initiative doing initiative things here. We've got a Seasoned Engineer, and looks like we are going to start the initiative. It goes and gets a basic planes. It's going to attack for 3, trigger. Jeez, just all kinds of gas here for Chase with a 4th Air Lingus on top and an attack over for 4 from that Anointed Peacekeeper. I don't think Zach can take the time to wasteland him again at this point, unless he is able to, and the deck doesn't run Tabernacle, so it doesn't really matter. He does have Ice in his hand, so he could tap down at least one of these 2 creatures when they attack, but we're going to see another trip through the dungeon, and I imagine he's probably going to Forge, and he is, even though he's supposed to do that before he drew. Let's see what he wants to do here. Yeah, all right, so he's got a Forge on the Seasoned Engineer, and it looks like we've got a 4th Air Lingus coming out for 2. A lot of damage coming across at Zach's 5, 9, and 13 total damage coming across to Zach, plus a trigger off of the Seasoned Engineer, which could potentially give him a +1/+1. And it will give the Anointed Peacekeeper a +1/+1. All right, so that is 14 damage coming across to Zach. Chase chooses to put that Solitude in the graveyard off of the Explore trigger. So 14, putting Zach down to 12, unless he can Brazen Borrow or something, and then go from there. But even then, we've got the trap coming the following turn, and then another attack, and then the Monarch comes into play as well if combat is successful. Zach giving it a good think here. Looks like we may have... Well, the fire could kill one of the guys. All right. We've got a Brazen Borrower going on an adventure, bouncing the Anointed Peacekeeper. So looks like we've got 9 damage coming across, which will put him down to, I think, 7? Yeah. And not being able to recast the Anointed Peacekeeper, I don't think this is really somewhere Zach wants to be, especially with... All right, we'll draw and go from here. The trap's going to definitely do a lot of damage. Fetch down to 6. Trap will hit him down to 1. And then an attack. And Zach's going to back it up. We'll see you in game number 2. If you've been enjoying our content, please be sure to like, subscribe, and leave a comment below. Back to game number 2, Zach's on the play as he lost game 1. He's going to lead off on a Wooded Foothills and pass it over. Now we've got a chance to take a look at Zach's deck. He's running the traditional Temur Rhinos package with the 4 Brazen Borrowers, 4 Spirit Guides, or a total of 8 Spirit Guides, 4 Shardless Agents, 2 Minsc and Boos, 3 Footfalls, 4 Force Negations, 4 Violent Outbursts, 4 Fire Ice, 4 Force of Wills, 4 Lunar Revealed. One thing that the deck did move over to are Wastelands, which is really good to help stymie some of the other fast decks that are in the format. So, see a Chalice coming out from Chase here, which does really hurt the Rhinos deck because the Crashing Footfalls is a 0 CMC. There are 3 Force of Vigors in Zach's sideboard, as well as... That's really about it that it can take care of the the Chalice, the Fire Ice only taps a permanent and deals 2 damage, so it's not like you can tap down the Chalice of the Void to turn it off like olden days. So we'll see how Zach overcomes this particular obstacle, especially since he has a Force Will in hand. I'm surprised he didn't force that, but maybe he's more concerned about that right there. Okay, we've got a Seasoned Engineer on the stack. He does have a Subtlety in his hand that he can use to put that back on top of Chase's library to not put the initiative back, or not start the initiative quite yet for him. Here we go. All right, Force Negation off the top here. It's like he does have a Wasteland in hand. Take him off of that Cavern of Souls, and that will definitely slow down the progress for Chase, as well as allow Zach to force a will the Seasoned Engineer coming back again. So we've got the Force pitching another Force Negation, Zach down to 19, and the initiative has been completely stopped for the moment. Now let's see how Zach can capitalize on the board state as it sits. It can't Crashing Footfalls because of that Chalice, but if Chase isn't able to capitalize either, then it's just going to be a race to see what, and there it is, Minsk and Boo. He's my homie, and so is Boo coming out right now. I imagine now we know why Zach probably wasn't too concerned with the Chalice, but I mean, still pretty sharp here. So we'll see that Mints bump up to 4, and then also the Boo will get 3+1/+1 counters and attack over. So now we're in a pretty good position for Zach, especially if Chase only keeps drawing lands and lands that deal damage to him. And we'll see another bump up on the Minsk, and 3 more on Boo. It's swinging over for 7. This game might be over faster than we thought, even with that Chalice on 0. Did Chase find a way out of this? A creature that can at least chump block? And nope, we'll see you in game number 3. If you've been enjoying our content, please be sure to like, subscribe, and leave a comment below. Game number 3, Chase has kept 7, Zach has kept 6. Chase on the play as he was not able to answer that Minsk and Boo the turn before. It's traditional fetch land pass for Zach, and it looks like we have an initiative creature on the way. Caves of Chaos Adventurer. There is a Force of Will in Zach's hand if he has a blue card to answer that, and he does. So Force of Will, no initiative allowed. Over to Zach's turn. He does have a Violent Outburst in hand. It looks like he just needs to pick up 1 more mana, because he does have a Spirit Guide as well. So we'll probably see a Crashing Footfalls come this turn. It's like there's a Seasoned Engineer in Chase's hand, but no white mana. I think he was depending on the Caves of Chaos Adventurer to grab that white mana for him. And now we have a Violent Outburst on the stack at end step, and we will go through this deck. All right, only 4 cards from the top, and we've got 2 Rhinos on the battlefield. And when they come to Zach's turn, it will be a there'll be 2 4/4s without Summoning Sickness. Sorry, had to think about what I wanted to say there. Brazen Borrower in hand as well, and a Crashing Footfalls in hand. So Zach could suspend that Crashing Footfalls and hold up Brazen Borrower, especially if Chase tries to put the initiative into play in this game number 3. Does he find a white source? He does not, and pass back over to Zach. The initiative deck is in trouble at this point. That's kind of tough, because he can't even use any other of his white spells, such as like Touch the Spirit Realm or Swords of Plowshare. So Chase finds a white mana. He does have 4 mana available, but I don't think he has anything that is quite strong enough to actually in this turn or in this game or get himself back into it very easily. He would need a Solitude and then a Touch the Spirit Realm to knock out both of these, because a Seasoned Engineer is not quite big enough. The Caves of Chaos Adventurer could be used to at least soak up 1, but that still doesn't answer the question of the other Rhino. So there's a fourth Aerlingus in hand as well, but it could only be used for 2. So that's only 2 Rhinos, or 1 Rhino that can be blocked. Man, just the Temur Rhinos deck just comes out swinging so fast that it's not like the old Valky decks, but it is pretty cool to see such a deck do well in Legacy. And that'll do it. If you've been enjoying our content, please be sure to like, subscribe, and leave a comment below.